Hey XRP and XLM fans, CPI data came in, and for the first time in over 3 years, you get to see me be excited because the data's finally swinging our way.
Due to the graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
And happy hump day, dudes and chicks. I hope this day treats you well. And you know the deal, your comments come first, but wait. Your comments are a special one this episode. That's right, we just got done with the live stream regarding CPI data live. And my shout out goes to everyone in the chat there because holy crap, was that a lot of fun. I'll have that linked at the end because you see me break it down and you break it down in the chat too. Seriously, shout out to the chatters. Let's get into the heat map and talk about the news for XRP and XLM and why I'm excited for the first time in over 3 years. Bitcoin's in at 57,076, ETH is 2342, while BNB's at 519. By the way, you notice BNB is pretty resilient ever since they got shady CZ out of the way. BNB's been doing better. See, crypto is about trust. Speaking of trust, 53.5 is the price of XRP. We were talking about RLUSD and how important trust is going to be for Ripple and how big the money is going to be for RLUSD. So what happened today? Well, you know the deal. It's CPI day, baby. CPI is important because it's the biggest factor that ties into the Fed lowering rates. And lowering rates is what you need when the cryptos that you like are laggards and the cryptos that you like are pumping when the Fed fund rate is low. When people are moving more money. When money is cheap so you could move it in quantities more and more and more. When money is expensive, you don't want to move a lot of it, do you? Because it costs you a lot. But when money's cheap, oh, then you want to play, right? You want to make it rain in the club. But let's get deep into CPI and how it affects XRP, XLM, and price. All right, here's the deal. Came in at 2.5. That is the lowest we have seen since March of 2021 when we were at 2.6. Think about that. That is 3 years of finally getting to the acceleration phase to match it of in 2021 in March. So if you want, now I know, you're sitting there going, Klaus, you don't look too excited. I'm super excited. You should see me on the live stream. I'm just tired from the live stream because that was a lot of energy because it was a lot of fun. But I'm super excited because look, it broke. It broke, and when rates start coming down, when CPI data starts coming down, the Fed can be aggressive with their cuts. We're guaranteed 25. 15% chance now that we're going to get a 50. That meeting is coming in about a week, the 18th. Garmin, help us out. Oh, that's next Wednesday. Going to have another live stream regarding that one. That one takes place at 2 p.m. Hang out with us. You'll really like it. But the point here is this is going to change. This 15% is going to increase because the market was expecting more from this, but what the market is realizing is that housing can't be fixed. So if you start extrapolating housing, things are starting to look better. Food prices are starting to come down. Yes, there are exceptions like eggs, dairy, and so forth. But the majority of food prices are coming down. Cereal prices are starting to come down. Fruits and veggies are starting to come down. And they're like, Klaus, how do you know that? Because when you click on these boxes here, these colored boxes, it brings you to those categories. Food away from home. So you go to restaurants, meal services, it's still expensive. It's still going up quite a bit. But food at home, wait, check it out. Look, meat, poultry, fish, and eggs, it's up 3%. Non-alcoholic beverages, your sodas, Gatorades, and so forth are still up. We've had a break in fruits and vegetables and a break in cereal and bakery products. So you're starting to see things break. That's really, really good. Now let's dive even further. What about commodities, less food and energy? Oh, used vehicles breaking down 10%. Now you're starting to see the excitement come out and you're like, but bro, what does this have to do with XRP and XLM? Who's fueling the market right now? It's retail. So if retail is saving money on used vehicles, if retail is saving money on cereal, if retail is saving money on gas, that means they got extra cash to spend on crypto. Because institutions aren't buying right now. Come on. If institutions are buying, how the hell would there still be 53 cent XRP? Banks could just buy that stuff out. Like the market cap and what it would take to buy that out, banks could swallow that in no time. By the way, did you know, fun fact for you, U.S. debt Just the interest of U.S. debt is $3 billion a day. That's how much interest the United States pays debt per day. $3 billion. Do you know that it would take the United States interest debt only 10 days to eat up the full market cap of XRP? The interest on the United States' debt is so big that in 3 days it could swallow XRP like that. 10 days. Think about that. That's a scary stat. So now what we're looking at is CPI data is becoming more favorable. Things are starting to break. And that break means people are going to have more money. That break also means that businesses that get loans, home equity lines of credit, credit card loans, home loans, auto loans, personal loans, they're all based off of these federal fund rates. So now what you're noticing is if this starts breaking, money becomes cheaper. And when did XRP and XLM moon? Gosh, look at the Fed fund rate when it was super, super low right here. And oh my gosh, when you look at XRP and you zoom out, you're like, God, when did XRP moon? Oh my gosh, during when the Fed fund rate was super, super low. Because you could spend money to develop and you could spend cheap money. Now that money is more expensive, you don't want to do it. Do you want to buy a house at the peak of the market, or do you want to buy a house when it's at the bottom of the market? You want to buy it when it's at the bottom, right? When do people want to develop their businesses? They want to develop it when there's a growth, there's a want. Is there a want now? No, because we've been crushed by high prices over the last several years with the pandemic. So these businesses, when they want to expand when money is cheap. Venture capital is one of the biggest players in the crypto space. Pantera Capital put recently just over $500 million into Ton. And then their dude gets arrested. Pantera just got bent over. Pantera is a venture capital company. These companies that like risky stuff like crypto only dip their toes in the water when money is cheap. When XRP price was hot, when XLM price was hot, that's when venture capitalists were getting into the market. You had your initial ICO boom here in the 17s and 18s, and then you had this right here. This is when money was cheap. It's the same thing for XLM as it is for XRP. When money is cheap, you can take risk, and that's the key. Money is now becoming cheaper. Money's becoming cheaper because things are starting to come down in price. Yes, look at energy. Energy commodities like fuel oil down 12%. Gas down 10%. Yeah, is it still high? Yes, it is. Because you got to remember, this has been compounded time after time again, right? So this 2.6% now gets added to this 8.5. So now you're at what? 11.1. Then that 8.5 gets added to this 5. So now you're at 16.1. So yeah, coming down a couple percentage is great, but it's coming down a couple percent from what? 16%, 15%? So that means you're still net overall what? Plus 13%, plus 10% in some cases. So things are coming down, and this is the change. Because look at this. This last year, we were going sideways. And with this sideways action that you see right here, sideways action does what for price? Take a look at XRP. Sideways action does balls for the price. Look at Stellar. Sideways action for Stellar pushed it even further down. That's this right here. Look, pushed it even further down. Got really, really beaten up. Sideways, you mean just like when the Fed rate was high, sideways right here? And that's the point. We're now getting the break in the Fed fund rates. And these Fed fund rates are triggered globally. There are tons of countries that are in the same boat as the United States. Some countries are ahead of the United States. Canada's had 3 rate cuts. That means the people in Canada, businesses, can take loans out way cheaper than elsewhere. Which means if they want to expand, if there's a reason, a demand for it, they can expand cheaper. It doesn't cost them an arm and a leg. So right now, we're guaranteed a 25 basis point hit. But here's the big news. The big news is if you go to December, look at this. In December, you're pricing in a minimum of 3 cuts. 3 cuts, 100% chance of 3 cuts. Almost a 60% chance for 100 basis points worth of cuts. That is awesome because that would take the Fed fund rate down from here to somewhere like right over here, which would be great. Which would also help out the laggards in the markets and those cryptos out there where money movement is what they're all about. Now be real. Tell me that wasn't legit and wasn't worth hitting that subscribe button. Seriously, the data's out there and it's in front of us all. You want things to move. You want laggards to move. You want things that are risky to move. You need money to come down. And we're finally getting it. We're finally getting it. In 3 years, we're starting to see things really, really break. But we still got a big mountain to erode. Like I said, that's cumulative, right? So if we're at 15%, right, and we've pushed it down like a little bit now to like 13%, 14%, cool, you still got this whole mountain left to eat. You still got all that left to eat. So it's going to take even more and more and more. And that's why a lot of players out there in the venture capital world, along with housing, are saying that it's going to take about 18 months for these rate cuts to take effect and to really start helping out the consumer. 18 months, 12 to 18 months. But by that time, you could have as much as 150 to 200 basis points worth of cuts. Would that make things moon like when we saw when the Fed fund rate was near zero? No, because we're still too high. We would still be, what, in the threes, 300? But we're coming down. So for real, if you thought this was informative and you like this, hit the like button. Drop me a comment, because y'all know I read them when I stretch, and I do have to work out today. I have leg day today. I have a really, really hard leg day today. It sucks. Single leg movement all day. But no two legs together. Nope, it's all single leg movement. It sucks. A lot of eccentric loading, a lot of eccentric like weight loading where I jump down. It's stupid stuff. I have to start getting ready for my mountain race. But let me know your thoughts. And I'll catch you cool cats later. And by the way, seriously, if you think this is worth it, hit the subscribe button. It's totally free and it helps with the algorithms and helps channels like mine grow. Choo choo bitches.